Everybody's not here to work like that. Everybody wants to be the boss until they have to pay the cost.
Right.
That is a completely different type of pressure. It will make you not sleep at night. You will either overeat, not like, I can't just decide tomorrow, oh, I don't feel like it. There's no, I don't feel like it when you have a business. There's pressure. If I'm off, everyone is going to feel it. You know, it's kind of annoying if you just have someone calling you all the time with problems. I have solutions. I am a woman who roars because I am relentless, and God put me here for a big purpose.
Guys, we are here for another episode, and I'm so pumped. Of course, for all of my guests. All of my guests are amazing. But this one is a woman who I have been admiring from afar because we've never met. It's always been social media. That's how I found her. That's how we connected. And she's just a bomb-ass boss chick. And you guys will see what I mean. She has managed to build an incredible fashion boutique, become a multimillionaire. And I'm talking about none other than Lynel. Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
Look at you, gorgeous. One of my favorite outfits of yours. You always look so cute when you have your big poofy ensembles on because you're so adorable. Well, I just first want to start with saying thank you and expressing my gratitude for coming on the series and for really just being an example of what it means to support other women. So quick behind the scenes, Nichole and I have never met in person, and we just know each other through social media. And I sent an email, a DM to her, letting her know I was doing this series, and immediately she responded and was down to be on this. And this is how it works. This is how simple it can be to just support another woman. So I just want to say thank you for being you and for being on the series. So I have a lot I want to chat with you about. I've had the chance to review your bio and, of course, have been following your journey on the gram. And I want to start with first saying, how are you? How's LA?
Today LA is rainy.
Here
and
too.
I'm good. I'm healthy. So I know we're all going crazy, which I am too. But today I'm good. I take it in waves.
Yes.
I'm good right now.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so you've managed to build an empire with your boutique. You've managed to become a multimillionaire, create, million in revenue. And I want to talk about the side of the business that a lot of folks don't talk about. So I want to get into a little bit of the gray, a little bit of the dark side of running your own business. And my first question is, what is a bad habit of yours in business?
A bad habit of mine. Oh my gosh, I just talked about this. A bad habit of mine is sometimes I care too much, and I found that a lot of the times I wasn't putting myself first or what's best for my business first, and that has led to a lot of heartache because you have to make those tough decisions. And if you're not putting yourself first, I just mentioned this, like that person is thinking about them and you're thinking about them and no one's thinking about you. So that will fall by the wayside. Another bad habit, I am not the most organized person. I am a messy desk, and my assistants probably are like, ugh, like, I'm like a tornado. Like, I literally come in there and I throw samples everywhere and clothes and fabric. I'm just like, and then I leave.
Okay, so which brings me to my next question. I wanted to talk about building a team because you've managed to build this business with a strong team, but I know that always hasn't been easy. So can you talk a little bit about team building and the significance around that, and also share some not so pleasant things that have happened as you were building your team?
So I feel like I like had this whole dream of like, I'm gonna build this and then they will come and it's gonna be amazing. And then I found out that almost no one is going to care about your business the way that you do. And I also wasn't the best communicator at first. Like, I would think something and then I would just expect people to know. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can't be lazy, and I feel like I have really ingrained that in my team, that this is not just me here. Like, this may be my business, but this is your resume. So if you want to work somewhere and you want to go somewhere else, I know that when I was younger, I worked at Nordstrom's. And the fact that I had Nordstrom's on my resume got me in the door to pretty much any other job that involved customer service, because they said, wow, she's worked for this company for years and they have this reputation. So if you're here and this looks like a piece of crap company and you go somewhere else and put that on your resume, how's that going to look? Like, we're all in this together. Don't you want to leave or not leave, but when you leave or when you go on to do whatever you do, don't you want to work somewhere that you're proud of? I remember going out with one of my girlfriends, and at the time I was doing like bottle service and modeling or whatever, and people would ask her what she did, and she was absolutely amazing. And then they would ask what I did, and I remember that lump in my throat where I'm at this huge conference and I don't want to say what I do because I don't really, feel great about it, especially getting older. And I'm like, don't you want to work somewhere and feel great about it and have a great reputation and be so excited to say that you're here? Another thing that I do, though, is I create an amazing work environment. Like, you guys get to learn everything I'm learning on my dime. Like, it might be stressful when we're at the office, but y'all clock out and go home. I have to deal with whatever has happened. So that's been a whole thing, but I have an amazing team. I love my office. I miss it so much right now. Like, I miss them. We're like a family, and I love it. But you have to be very careful who you bring into the family or around the family, because bad habits can be very contagious, especially when you have a small team. So if someone is off, someone's not pulling their weight and they're getting away with it, everyone else is watching, and that can totally take over. Because I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I would love to come work for you, because they think we do this all day. We just sit around in fluffy dresses, and then there's actual work. And no, everybody's not here to work like that. Everybody wants to be the boss until they have to pay the cost.
Right.
Hola, mi gente. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to work smarter instead of harder. You know what I mean? I'm trying to secure these coins with less effort, but more return. You hear me? What if I told you there was a way for you to make your entire salary, your 6-figure salary, within months? What if I told you there was a way for you to package your expertise where you can sell it to corporate and government agencies and go after lucrative 5- and 6-figure contracts so that you can secure the big bag? My most popular mastermind right now is on sale. We're running a crazy flash sale, 90% off. And this masterclass specifically focuses on how you can secure lucrative 5- and 6-figure contracts, even if you don't know what to sell and haven't started your business yet. I'm gonna show you how to identify what your no-brainer offer is so nobody can say no, honey. I'm gonna help you think about how to pitch yourself, how to package your expertise. I'm going to show you the email scripts that I use to lock in meetings with hard-to-reach executives. This is golden, y'all. It is the same framework that I use right now currently in my business as a consultant and a keynote speaker that gets flown out to speak all around the world, honey. And if I can do it, so can you. And this masterclass is going to break down the step-by-step process that you can follow. So within the next 90 days, you can have your first 5- and 6-figure corporate or government contract. I mean, what are you waiting for, y'all? I put the link in the show note. The flash sale is only going on for the next 48 hours. So make sure you rush to the link in my show notes so that you can take advantage of this sale and we can secure the big bag together. Está chavo out here, y'all. Let's go and get it.
Exactly. So how have you been able to build this culture of family with your team? Like, what have you done to do that?
One thing is a positive work environment, and I let them know what I expect. I know, like I said in the beginning, communication was off. So every time I was disappointed or I felt like things weren't going the way that I wanted to, is because I wasn't communicating what I expected. This is what I expect from you, and I'm right here with you, because I feel like anyone who's in entrepreneurship or around someone who's a boss, you respect it more when you see that person's going hard. Now, if I'm going hard and I'm giving 150% and I'm killing myself and you're just sitting over here looking at me, that's not going to work. So I feel like that inspires them. My accountant just cut me off from Amazing Snacks, but we have a beautifully stocked refrigerator. I love a positive work environment. I love good music. I will make you walk outside if you walk into my office with a bad attitude. Whatever is going on outside of here, leave it at the door. When you're in here, I'm going to give you good energy, so you give me good energy, because we have a lot to do, and I'm not going to get that bad energy on my clothes.
Definitely not. So, do you have an example of a time where you brought somebody in and they weren't a good fit for your team, and how we first started this interview with me asking you about habit, and you said you care too much. So did that get in the way of you reprimanding or firing somebody because you have this purity to you? And do you have an example of that?
Yes, I'm totally thought I could bring somebody on or around thinking that they would have the same work ethic, or they may have been, on the outside, it all seemed good. But then when they got there, it was giving kick my feet up, and it's the homegirl hangout, and we're just like good, and it wasn't. And I had a lump in my throat, and I was uncomfortable coming to work, and I felt off. Meanwhile, I'm the one paying all the bills, and I refuse to be in my office and not feel good about it. Like, I don't want to be somewhere and be uncomfortable. So I had to force myself to have a tough conversation, and that is really, really hard. And sometimes all is not lost. Sometimes you just didn't say what you wanted, and that person didn't know any better. And I feel like so often, especially with women of color, sometimes you have to let people know what is helpful, and it's not coming from a place of you're a bad person or you're not right. You just have to say what you expect, and that's how I break it down for my team members when they're off, because maybe they don't know. Maybe you don't know. Like, I had to tell an assistant before, like, I should never look over and you're on your phone big chilling while I'm working. Because if you think, even if I'm not working, you're paid to be here and to do a job, and you need to do it, because this is practice for your business. If you think that you're going to leave here and become some amazing boss when you're lazy here, when you don't have any responsibility, that can be further from the truth. This is your practice. This is your launching pad. This is your resume, and we had to turn that relationship around.
So can you talk about some raw truths as it relates to entrepreneurship? Because I find that people find it glamorous from the outside looking in, and not really understanding what it actually takes to run a business and actually have $1 million revenue. So can you talk a little bit about the misconceptions around entrepreneurship?
Okay. You're going to lose your whole mind, because you think that, like, I had this goal. My first goal was to sell over $1 million in my first year. That's a great goal, right? Then you do it, and then you have $1 million problems, or not even $1 million problems, but now you've tasted it. So now you want to do more, and all of the effort, you put all of your heart into something, and now you realize you need to top that when you barely have anything left, when that's what got you there. So now you're projected and you're looking, how do I double this? And that is a completely different type of pressure. It will make you not sleep at night. You will either eat, overeat, not eat. Oh, my boo's on here. Sorry, I got the it will make you it will make you crazy. It demands a different level every level that you get. There's different devils, there's different bills, there's different expectations from you. It just is a different beast. And I feel like everyone thinks that it's sweet because they see an office and pictures and all of these things. But look where we are right now. We're in a whole crisis, and you have to step up and be a leader. There's no crying for you, there's no shutting down for you. If not, it can all be over. And it wasn't just like that now. That's a daily thing. Like, I can't just decide tomorrow, oh, I don't feel like it. There's no, I don't feel like it when you have a business. There's pressure. If I'm off, everyone is going to feel it. Not only me, but my employees, their families. It goes in a whole like thing. I think everybody has it kind of messed up, especially recently. I was just thinking about levels, right? I had got down on myself thinking like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have went so big. If I was still in my second bedroom, this would not feel the same way as it does right now, where I have a commercial lease, where I have employees, payroll, I have all these responsibilities. Maybe I should have just played it small. But I have amazing friends and family who like slap me at my side my head like, no, you cannot forget who you are, and you cannot forget what God called you to do. But getting up every day, and I'm not saying this sometimes, I'm talking about every single day, and going after that, that takes pressure, that takes resilience, and that takes being smart. And it's just a whole other thing that nobody really can prepare you for, because everyone's journey will be different. What worked for me may not work for someone else, and you have to get up and do that and try it and fail and lose money and get up and do it again every single day.
And where do you think that work ethic came from?
I believe that came from a few things. I had a mother who was absolutely amazing, my grandmother, but I also had a mom who battled addiction. And I realized when my mom came around, my real birth mom came around and she asked for stuff, I noticed how people treated her. I noticed the lump of embarrassment I got in my throat. And then I saw the vast difference with my grandmother, who got up and went to work every day. She had a husband, she had a home, and she maybe didn't have to work. She worked extra hard for the extras that we had, but she still did it. And she did it amazing and beautifully. And that came for it. And I have never wanted to feel, whether that's a man, whether that's a job, I never wanted to have that feeling where you're in a position that you don't want to be in for the money. So that's where that really came from.
So you grew up with your grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what was life like then?
Life was good, but it was very confusing because my parents didn't really talk about my birth mom as much. So I would see her in passing, but I always kind of longed for her. And that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Now, full circle, now that I have a book and I kind of worked through it, I realized that it was all happening for me. But at the time, I didn't feel good about it. You know, I'm with my grandparents. They're older. There's a whole generational gap. I grew up in a house where we didn't even have cable. Like, I had to watch all the movies, listen to all the rap songs once I got older, because I used to sneak to, like, I have an uncle who's more like a brother, but my uncle's room and, like, listen to what's going on. But my parents listened to Luther, and we did all the, you know, we cut up cheese and salami and rode down the coast on the weekends. It was just a different vibe than if I had, like, younger parents.
Yeah. And is that mainly what your book is about, going through that type of adversity and finding yourself as you grew wiser and older?
My book is about everything. I talk about all the things that nobody says out loud. I talk about drug addiction. I talk about abuse. I talk about sexual abuse. I talk about mental abuse. I talk about navigating life when you don't have all the proper tools in your toolbox. We all associate success and whatever with money. And we think if somebody has money, then they were just okay. And I had a beautiful life, but things were not all the way sweet for me.
Mm-hmm. So what brought you to writing the book?
for that reason, I wish that I had read something like this when I was younger so that I know that things were going to be okay, because it didn't feel like at the time it was going to be okay for me. You know, like I thought my best option was my parents are, you go to school, you get married, you get a house, you retire, this is your life. And I always had that feeling inside, like, no, I want to wear fluffy dresses and I want to have this whole fabulous life. But for me, when I saw business owners and men and not men, but millionaires, it was always associated with a man or nobody that really looked like me. When I opened up the magazines and I loved fashion and all these things, there wasn't really a girl next door brown girl who looked like me at the time. And I wish that there was someone who said that story. And we don't talk about what addiction does to the people that we love. We know what addiction does to the person, but if you have loved somebody battling an addiction, there is just no other feeling. And also, I really went through it with that because my mom put me in some crazy positions. When I was about 16, 17, I went to live with her, and I went through awful things, just never realizing the lifestyle that someone has who's going through this and how that could affect me as a kid.
Yeah. Did you know your dad?
That was something that I've never even said out loud, but I have a man on my birth certificate that my mom just put there. And it was like her ball and boyfriend at the time. And no, I don't. Like, there's rumors of who he is, but I have a dad. I have my father, who I absolutely adore, who is the love of my life and had showed me what a man is supposed to be and what that looks like. Like, I am so blessed that I have a love like that void wasn't the one. But that's another reason I wrote the book, because we talk about fatherless a lot, but no one has ever really talked to me about what motherless looks like. And the one person who birthed you, the one person in the world who is supposed to love you more than anybody, is absent.
Right.
That is like a whole thing that I didn't have access to that book coming up.
Yeah. Well, first, shout out to our grandparents for loving us and being there for us. So you said that, and thank you for being so vulnerable right now. I think that it's important for us to have these conversations so that, as you stated so beautifully, other people can see examples. You grew up with no examples in terms of seeing women who look like you in the magazines and millionaires who are women. So where did you get your inspiration to be that difference that you didn't see in the world?
I just started going for it. I know with social media that definitely opened up our eyes, but I thought, why not? I already know what broke feels like. I already know what it looks like to watch my parents, who both had, six-figure incomes, and what that looked like, because we all assume that money is gonna like change it. But I realized my mom woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get me dressed, and I was the last kid at daycare. And by the time, it's so crazy, like I can literally see her office from my view now. It's so weird. But she picked me up. I'm the last kid at daycare, and to come into this world, like, unwanted, it was just like a whole, like, full circle moment. And we all just think like our like mindsets are so warped on what success looks like. And when I saw other people kind of going for, I'm like, why not me? You know what? Let me get in here and try to do something, because doing nothing, I already know what this looks like. So let me try to go for it. And results, I'm a very results-driven person, and nothing will make you respect yourself more than when you complete something. And once I completed one thing, that was it. And you can't stop me now once I think about it.
So you mentioned your mom's office is across from where you are now?
It's in there. It's like, yeah, it's in the view of downtown LA.
So do you guys have a relationship now?
My grandmother, when I say my mom, I'm calling my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, me and my mom, my birth mom, we do have a relationship, but I have to set boundaries. I noticed that money was a problem for us. My mom felt like my success, I owed her something. And she would feel like, wow, you're successful and your mom is doing like this. And I had to really check myself, like, look, you didn't raise me and you weren't here for me. So I don't owe you anything. And you're the mom, not me. I should be coming to you and you're always coming to me. And I know a lot of us deal with that, with guilt, whether that's friends or family. But if you've built something, you don't owe. That's what my favorite chapter in my book is. I don't owe nobody shit. Like, I'm not doing that anymore, where I would literally be like, I didn't like have a word, lost for word right now, enabling her. So now that I'm paying bills, now that I'm giving you money, you're not gonna stop. You're still drinking, you're still doing all the things because I'm enabling you. And that's not fair to me because I feel guilty now, and I had to set boundaries with her. But if you read it, there is, in retrospect, I had to be honest with her when she wrote that. When I was writing the book, she was so scared because she believed that I was going to be bashing her because how I felt. And I'm like, no, it's not to bash you, because I've realized everyone is just doing the best that they can. Honestly, like our parents, our friends, our family, they're just doing the best that they can. And I know that if things would have been different for her, our relationship might have been different. But if I write a letter to her where I'm saying, if I could save you, I would. And if you could see yourself how I see you, things probably would be different. But my mom hasn't saved herself, so there was no way she could come back and save me.
Yeah. And shout out to everybody in the comments right now. The book is called My Fashion Fairytale.
Yes.
So go pick it up. Check it out. Yes. And look at that gorgeous picture. That's the picture we had to make sure to use on the graphic too. It was so gorgeous. Okay, so now I want to turn the conversation to, how does it feel when celebrities reach out to you to style them? I know you worked with Lauren London, you worked with Badass Boss. Like, how does that feel?
It feels amazing. Like, I still like trip out on something that I dreamed up in my mind. It goes so far to where a celebrity or a bride or someone graduating from college would want to have that memory and that moment in something that I just dreamed up. And that's like absolutely amazing. This is why I do this, because I know what it feels like to, question myself. And I know when a woman puts herself together, we're like superheroes, and how we put on our clothes or our accessories, that's like our cape to go out into the world and do amazing things. So I have to, like, that's my purpose. I know when I was younger, I would always think like I didn't have a talent because I couldn't sing or dance or like those things. But actually, this is my purpose and this is my calling, is to create things to make women feel beautiful.
Mi gente, I need your help. Look, the real game behind podcasts is we need to really understand our demo, aka you, our audience, so that when we go out to sponsors who help us put on this amazing show and deliver this content to you, that they can clearly understand who we serve and what is significant to you and what you value. And the only way for us to get that information is for you to give it to us. So we just created this survey. I'll put it in the show notes. It will take you less than 3 minutes, literally, but it will be so helpful for us to get a better understanding of what it is that you care about, what's important to you, what do you value, so that when we're out in these streets trying to secure the big bag and get sponsors for this show, they know exactly who our audience is and what you care about. So we can bring you the best products, we can bring you the best organizations that are out here serving the cultura, the community, you. So please take a moment and fill out the survey. I'll link it in the show notes. Appreciate you.
So, and that is beautiful. So your business model is a little different. It's not like a Fashion Nova, for example. Yours definitely more boutique and more customization. Do you feel like you've made it harder on yourself because you've chosen that lane versus the more traditional lane where you are able to produce in volume versus make things custom?
I feel like I do both, but I'm so happy that you said that, because I'm very hard on myself in trying to brand myself and be different, because I could literally have the same item as a Fashion Nova or another boutique, but I do it my way and I tell a story. And that's what branding is all about. And that's what I love and what I'm really here for. But I'm very hard on myself when it comes to that because I think it's important, and the way that you do things and the way that you put yourself out there, it means something and there's an art to it. It's not just, quick and easy and cheap looking. You can, like, I come from, I feel like a different era when you were not excited to say you got your clothes at Rainbow. I remember you didn't want, when somebody asked you where you got it, you weren't shouting that you only paid $99 or $9.99 for it. You wanted to say, oh, I got this, I don't remember. Like, I want that vibe. I want you to walk in and get something from my boutique and be able to put it on with your pieces and have it next to your other designers, and it goes. Like, I want women to get out of that. Like, who wants to be proud of looking cheap?
Talk about it.
You can buy things that are not expensive, but you don't have to look cheap on purpose.
Right. So a lot of your success behind the boutique is you, the brand. When did you decide that that was going to be the strategy you wanted to follow? I mean, you model your own clothing. So very few models I've ever seen wear your pieces. So talk to me about that and why you decided to pursue that lane.
First photo shoot initially with my first business, the models didn't show up, so had to jump in. And I found over time, even when I use models now, nothing sells like me. I literally was working with my photographer the other day, and he was like, it's amazing because I don't have to talk you through it. I have been on both sides of the camera. I can literally look at the photo and I know what I want to give. And I feel like that sort of thing is what resonates with my customer. And also seeing a real person in the clothes. Like, not everybody is tall and slim and has these mannequin body parts. Like, that's just not realistic. You're going to be sad every time you buy it and get it in the mail. Like, sometimes women want to see stuff on a real woman with a real body, and that's who my target market is. And that's what resonates with her, and that's what works. So why fight it? I just do what works for me.
Yeah. So can we right now get kind of your signature move with the hair? Yes, darling. Yes. I love when you do that. I'm like, that is like so much a part of your brand. Like, if that's not happening, there's something going on. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. I wanted to talk about coaches. So a lot of folks have the misconception that, if you have created a certain level of success for yourself, achieved a certain level of success for yourself, that you are not getting help, that it's all you. And I would love for you to talk about how you have business coaches and just women and other people that you've worked with that have guided you through this process, and talk about the significance of that.
So I feel like when things fell apart for me, I have a good friend, Ronnie Brown. She coached me. I have my Lily from According to Lily on Instagram. These are like my business besties. I have tons of women. My friend Melissa, she's like amazing. So I surround myself with women that are absolutely amazing. And I remember Ronnie saying, like, ask for tax returns. And think of it as people you wouldn't mind trading places with. I feel like you don't necessarily always like need someone, but it's great to talk to people who've been in your position and have made a way and done real things. I don't tend to look so much at numbers and followers and all that. I want to see results. What have you actually done? What business do you have? What businesses have you built? And I look at that, and those are the people that really pour into me. Also, I work really hard and I try really hard. And I always use the metaphor of when you're pushing a car. If you're just standing next to your car, nobody's going to stop by and help you. But if people see you out pushing that car, someone who can help you, who's capable, is going to jump out and try to help you push that car. And that's exactly what I've done. And those are the type of women that I would like to align myself with.
And how did you meet them? Were they in your toolbox before you started this, or did you meet them along the journey?
Both. I have women that have been in my life, like from when I was a kid. Melissa, she I always admired her. That's my best friend, and she did amazing stuff with her career. That was who I said. I used to go to parties with her when she was a financial advisor, and I had nothing going on. So, you know, who just wants to be the cute friend when she was doing real things in the world and had real connections? And I wanted in on that. Who wants to be, you know, cute gets played out once you know, I didn't want to be the auntie in the cat suit with nothing going on. So I had her. And then after that, really social media. Before, I feel like now I'm like, no more brunches because everybody's doing a brunch. But I started speaking. And when I would speak, I would meet women who we could get off stage and have a rapport and talk about real things that were going on, and we could pour into each other. It's more of a potluck, I would say now. I don't want people who are just taking all the time. I want people who I can say, hey girl, this is going on with me. We can have an honest conversation. We trade tips. We do all of the things. It's not just like you know, it's kind of annoying if you just have someone calling you all the time with problems. I have solutions. Like I give what I know, they tell me what they know, and we build from there. But social media is really great. You'll be surprised. Look, you slid into my DMs. I was like, hey girl.
No, I was like, girl, let's create some magic together. And I'm so happy you brought up this point because I actually have a nonprofit which is sponsoring this series, the Female Collaborative. And the premise behind it is to revolutionize how women work and do business together by creating opportunity for us to collaborate, make money, create magic, create legacy. Because I find that there's not enough spaces for that to happen in an authentic, genuine way. This is key.
That's the part I didn't say. That part.
Mm-hmm.
I never got a seat at the table until I had something to say. And I feel like so many of us are rushing to create relationships when they won't work properly or be authentic when you don't have anything to give. And I'm not even talking about like money, success, what is that level. Just a listening ear. Like I have had girls where I'm like, hey, you want to learn from me? Come help me carry these bags downtown and we can walk around. Very few have actually shown up and done it.
Mm-hmm.
So that
they don't understand how powerful that is to be in your space. And I think also people forget how busy successful people are. Like this shit doesn't happen because we have so much free time. This happens because we're working. So if somebody is offering you the opportunity to spend any type of time, whether that's carrying bags to a shoot, whether that's you being behind the camera, whatever it is, and you're able to absorb and be a sponge, take full advantage of that opportunity.
And we all have done it at some point. Like I feel like everyone thinks like, oh, you know, I want to be the boss. Like, no one starts out as the boss. Okay. I have gotten coffee. I have drove people around. I have taken classes. I have been the assistant, the intern, not gotten paid. I've paid my dues because it was a different time. Like too, before social media and all that, you had to have a resume and you had to have stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't just decide you had a domain name and all of a sudden you're whoever you are. Like I feel like social media has created this false expectation and this chip on your shoulder where if you feel like you can access someone, they should tell you. So you mean I'm supposed to invest all this stuff in myself, learn all these hard lessons, do all of this, cry my eyes out, lose everything, and then you meet me and I'm just supposed to tell you.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think people forget that before you're a leader, you're a follower. And there is a lot of merit in following because you mimic the things that people do successfully. You don't copy. You definitely put your own spin on it and you make it your own. But in order for you to learn, you need to be a student. And people forget how important that is. And I want to talk about this next topic because not too many of us do. And there's kind of like a false narrative out there, especially with all the women empowerment events that happen, etc. We've been very lucky to have women in our lives who do bring that soulfulness into the relationship and remind us of the badass that we are. But we also do come across women, I know I have, that don't come with that purity and that genuineness. And what do you do when you come across those type of women?
now I've gotten better. Now I will say with when I got my first vlog, I was like, ooh, everybody can come over. We're friends. Let's all be friends. No, they were just looky-loos. Everybody just wanted to come over to see what you have going on. And you turn around 2 weeks later and they got the same thing going on. And it's like, and then if you feel some type of way about it, it's like, oh, she's a hater. And it's like, no, I want everybody to do their best and be their best. And I want us all to be throwing down our platinum or black cards when the bill comes. I want all of that for you. But I just don't, I want you to be the best you. I was just talking about this with a girlfriend. Like, you cannot become someone while they're still alive. And a lot of people they don't love you. So I have found out that I want to be around people who love me for me, that don't love me for them. Because I had a lot of people around me who love me for them. Their access to me got them around what I was around. Their access got my connects, and they sucked that all dry and then moved on. So this time around, I prayed for discernment, and I listened to myself, and I think about what somebody is really bringing, what type of energy they have. Do I feel good? Because I have always felt that thump, and I ignored it because you feel that thump in the little whisper, like, hey, watch out, that person's not it. But my little dumb self, I'm like, no, they just need some love.
Open arms.
Like, they just need to, let me show them what love is. And it's like, no, that person doesn't like you, and that's okay. Because I used to internalize it, like, why are they like this? And it's like, when you are on this journey and everyone is climbing, people will claw your eyes out when they're trying to get where they're going, because they're in a mode of survival. And you might be on a different journey than they are. So they will hurt you in that process, and that is okay. You just leave them where they are. Not everybody, because you will find some good people. I found that when you are a light, you attract both. You attract other light, and you also attract a lot of darkness. And that can be very discouraging because it looks good. I've also seen the opposite when I've seen that when you're on the panel with other powerful women and they treat you one way, and then you walk off the stage and you see how they treat other women. And I noticed that I feel like the meme. I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. Like, you know, like, we're all, just because you're on the stage right now doesn't mean that that person is less than you or whatever is the case. And look what's happening now. Like, this is a big game changer for a lot of us. This is going to show who's excellent, who's resilient, and nothing really matters but relationships right now. And we have to wake up and look at alignment. Like, what is this person really coming around for? They're just trying to align themselves and take a picture. They don't really care about you. And also, I've noticed too, if someone is in the position to put you onto something and they don't, put that little nugget under your cap, because there might be something to that. Because people like you when you're sane, right? I noticed when I was an underdog, everybody loved me. Everybody wanted to hate me. No, not wanted to hate me, wanted to help me.
Right.
No, I'm just saying, they all wanted to help. You know, when you're the underdog, when you don't have as much going on, everybody wants to help you, right? But when you start to be real competition and you become a regular dog, then you might turn into a top dog. It gets weird.
Yeah.
You know, then they turn into kind of, I don't like that. You know, it doesn't. We as women have to start having that conversation of, what does that feel like? For me, I love beautiful boss women. That doesn't intimidate me because I'm already whole. And I feel like if she can do it, not with a negative way, I don't look at like, if she can do it, I can do it. I look at like, if she can do it, I could possibly do this too. It's not why her and not me. And I feel like we have a lot of we have a lot of that, and nobody really talks about it and acknowledges that. And I don't like the fan behavior. Like, I don't want to treat anybody like a fan or whatever, or I'm up here and they're down there, because look at life. Like, it can literally, like that, change, and you can be right back at the bottom.
So why do you think that is? Was that just a a maturity that you naturally grew into? Have you always had it? Because I find that there are leaps and valleys, right? I think depending on where you are in life, you might find yourself hating on another woman, and then you have to check yourself, like, wait, hold on, why am I hating on this woman right now? And you have to start that self-reflection.
I like me offline. Like, I would probably dance around the house in this dress by myself. Like, I like me. And it took, I feel like my 30s, that kind of plays into it because, you know, I had that talk, me and my girlfriend were on the beach, and we were like, girl, look at our stomachs. Like, we're on the beach right now. Like, who cares though? Like, we're on the beach in Hawaii. And I love you, and I love me. Like, I just love who I am. This is the only body that I'm going to have. This is the only face that I'm going to have. Well, unless I go and get another new one. But if I don't like something, I can change it, and I love me. And this woman being beautiful and me being beautiful and successful, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, I don't feel her light puts a shadow on me. And I don't know really what that is, but you have to work on it and catch it early, because I notice women, I talk about this with my friends all the time, like, women like women who are not competition. Like, being honest, they like it when there's no competition. I'm the opposite. I like it. Like, me and my girl, like, what you doing today? Okay, let's set a goal. I'll get there before, and it's not a negative competition. It's good competition. Mm-hmm. Who wants to compete when you don't have a good competitor? Like, I want us to go out and get it. These old white men, they do it all day and turn around and have drinks at the bar. How come for us it has to be different?
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it is different?
Because of a mindset and insecurity, and we have a scarcity mindset. Honestly, women of color, minority women, black women, whatever it is, there's usually only one of us in the room, or there's only one of us on the show, or there's only one of us in the magazine. So we only feel like only one of us can make it. So that's why we have this thing, because it's like, okay, well, if I let her know, then she might take my place. And that's very uncomfortable for a lot of us, whether that's money, whether that's resources, whatever that is, that is really uncomfortable. And it's a thing, like, for like a lot of women, and you have to protect yourself when it's like that, because I know I hold back sometimes because you have to pay attention to people's faces. When you tell somebody some real good news, some bomb good news, and that little face is like, girl, oh yeah, and you're like, oh, the first face just told you the truth, because that's a mirror. Honestly, I tell my friends all the time, like, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's a mirror. When somebody is bomb and beautiful and all of the things, that starts to make people feel like, what's lacking in my life, or I don't have that. Right. And I feel like social media has only amplified that for other people, because we're looking at everybody's highlights, and we don't really know what that costs. You might not be willing to do what that person did to get where they are. And that kind of creates this weird energy. And honestly, I wouldn't all the way know, because I'm not a hater.
Talk about it. All right. So I want everybody in here to write, I love me, because I think this is a great opportunity to put that energy out there. So everybody on here in the comments, write, I love me. And I asked this question of all of my guests on the show, and it is, why are you actually, before I asked this question, I wanted to make this comment, because I find that women, when they become competition or when they are leveling up, they sometimes dim their light because they start to feel bad because of what other people start feeling, and as a reaction to their success. So I want to make sure we make it clear that it's normal for you to feel that way. It might creep up on you. Check it and acknowledge that you are meant to win, and you are meant to succeed, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to live in your destiny and in your purpose. I want to make sure that is clear, because I find that depending on if it's somebody close in your circle, if it's immediate, or sometimes if it's even a stranger, we sometimes deter our path or go and create some other avenue just to make other people comfortable. And that's not what you're here for. You're here to make you comfortable.
Blind them. Yes. Tell them to put their shades on. Blind them. And if they really love you, they'll come around. There has been so many times I've had my own, a good love friend of mine tell me that, like, it just seems like it's easier for you. And I'm like, what? Like, I had to write this book. Like, you think it's all easy for me on the outside because you're comparing some things that don't even matter? You don't even know what it costs. And one of my good friends always reminds me when I'm feeling some type of way, like, every dog has its day. It's not your turn right now. So you're tripping off of not being on this little thing when you're supposed to be on Ellen one day, or you might be on Forbes one day. And then I haven't got on Ellen, but then the Forbes article comes and you have your day. So sometimes that's hard though, to know your bomb and to sit there and clap for somebody else when you feel like it's your time. That is hard sometimes, but I've never felt like mine wasn't coming. And that's what you have to kind of realize. But that is hard, and it's a natural feeling because I see it all the time. And I have my little moments where I'm like, oh, wow, they picked that person. And it seems like they only picked the same 5 people and they didn't call me. But it wasn't my turn.
Right. My number's on my bio. My email's on my bio. Right. Now. All right. So here's the question that I ask all my guests. And it is, why are you a woman who roars?
Okay, I am a woman who roars because I am relentless, and God put me here for a big purpose. There is no way that I was supposed to be here. My mom tells me this all the time. She's like, when I was pregnant with you, I did every drug underneath the sun, and you're here. So you're a fighter, and you must have wanted to be here. So how could I have went through all of this and really wanted to be here to grow up and not do anything? So
I love it. I love it. I love you. I need everybody that was on this to go and purchase Nichole's book. And if you haven't yet, go to her boutique and go get yourself something cute, because we will be out the house soon, hunty, and you want to look fly. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. But thank you so much, Nichole. Thank you for being on the series. I appreciate you so, so much. Stay dry out in LA. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay beautiful. And stay humble and pure. I love your energy. Thank you, Mama, so much. Bye.
Bye.
Hola, mi gente. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to work smarter instead of harder. You know what I mean? I'm trying to secure these coins with less effort, but more return. You hear me? What if I told you there was a way for you to make your entire salary, your 6-figure salary, within months? What if I told you there was a way for you to package your expertise where you can sell it to corporate and government agencies and go after lucrative 5- and 6-figure contracts so that you can secure the big bag? My most popular mastermind right now is on sale. We're running a crazy flash sale, 90% off. And this masterclass specifically focuses on how you can secure lucrative 5- and 6-figure contracts, even if you don't know what to sell and haven't started your business yet. I'm gonna show you how to identify what your no-brainer offer is so nobody can say no, honey. I'm gonna help you think about how to pitch yourself, how to package your expertise. I'm going to show you the email scripts that I use to lock in meetings with hard-to-reach executives. This is golden, y'all. It is the same framework that I use right now currently in my business as a consultant and a keynote speaker that gets flown out to speak all around the world, honey. And if I can do it, so can you. And this masterclass is going to break down the step-by-step process that you can follow. So within the next 90 days, you can have your first 5- and 6-figure corporate or government contract. I mean, what are you waiting for, y'all? I put the link in the show note. The flash sale is only going on for the next 48 hours. So make sure you rush to the link in my show notes so that you can take advantage of this sale and we can secure the big bag together. Está chavo out here, y'all. Let's go and get it. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love the next one. So make sure to click right here and tap into the next episode.